get started, first of all, give yourself a round of applause for cooperating and being here. There are some who are still coming in, so as we start with the program, the first few minutes, as people are coming in, we ask them to find a place along the perimeter or empty seat. But when we start the formal part of the program, we're really going to ask for quiet, as much quiet as we can have, so that we can properly hear the candidates as they're answering the questions. Thank you for saying I didn't have the mic close.
Can't hear you back here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Like the commercial. All right, so a formal welcome to everyone to this Mayoral Candidates Forum. This forum is sponsored by West Ward Alliance, which is an initiative of Mercer Street Friends. And we had several community partners, the West Ward Neighborhood Group, the Latonia Association, Citizens Campaign, Impact Trenton, Grace Community Church, and the Lighthouse Outreach Ministries, which is the venue that we're using. So all of those individuals who are affiliated with those organizations, just stand and wave your hand so people know who you are. And they're all West Ward organizations and churches. This is a gentle reminder, and you'll get another one in a few minutes. If you could please sign in, and also there are some blank note cards. We ask that you take a note card if you desire. Write a question on that note card pertaining to the 6 subject boxes that we have on the registration table, and drop those cards in those boxes, and you have the next 12 minutes, next 10 minutes to do that. So if you haven't done it already, there are cards available in the back. There are pens that we distributed throughout the rows. If you need a pen, ask your neighbor or go to the back. Again, welcome and thank you for coming and participating. Put your listening ears on, take some good notes as we proceed with the forum. I'm going to turn it over now to James Allen, who is a member of the Mercer Street Friends Board. He's also a member of our West Ward Alliance Steering Committee. My name is Pamela Sims-Jones. I'm the project coordinator for West Ward Alliance, and again, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, key word this evening is forum, not debate. It's a forum, okay? Not a debate. What I would like to ask you to do is sit back, relax, hang on to all your emotions. Let me try it again. Hang on to all your emotions and listen. I've heard words thrown out this week such as credibility, credence, and so forth and so on. That has nothing to do with the West Ward Alliance, Mercer Street Friends. The credibility tonight are on these candidates here for the mayor of the city of Trenton. So again, we're going to ask you to hold your applause. At the very end, we'll give a group applause. We're going to ask you to please be mindful. Our city is about to go through another change. We need to hear who will take that change. Lastly, so you can understand, there is a very selfish motive here. These questions were geared around the West Ward. We're setting a standard here in the West Ward that we hope will follow throughout the city of Trenton. The questions would be on the following areas: crime and public safety, housing and vacant properties, employment and job training, education, youth and recreation, and other. The boxes are labeled in the back. If you so mind to have a question, please write it down. We'll compile the questions. We'll try to answer or ask as many as we possibly can. But I ask us this evening that we're all adults, that we conduct ourselves in a peaceful, loving spirit. And most of all, let's be respectful. This is a forum, not a debate. We need to hear what they have to say so we can make an educated, prayerful decision on our next mayor. Again, thank you and welcome.
I'm going to formally introduce our moderator. This is Nicole Plett. She is a member of the League of Women Voters, Lawrenceville chapter, and I've been working diligently with her to organize the format that we're going to use, so welcome her, and she will moderate the formal and the audience question sessions. Nicole Plett.
Thank you, Pamela, and thank you. What a wonderful turnout of interested voters tonight. Nothing makes the League of Women Voters happier than participation. As Pamela said, my name is Nicole Plett. I'm a resident of Lawrence Township and a member of their League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters of New Jersey is a nonpartisan political organization which encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. Elections and voting are core concerns for the League of Women Voters. Leagues are committed to providing fact-based information about issues and the positions candidates take on those issues, and to help voters make up their own decisions and participate in the process. Okay, I'll introduce the candidates. As you see, seated in alphabetical order, we have Jim Golden, Eric Jackson, Oliver Leggett, Paul Perez, and Walker Worthy. One additional candidate is on the ballot, that's Kathy McBride, and she was unable to join this forum tonight. She is not participating. The first 5 questions that these candidates will address were built from, I believe, a West Ward survey that was conducted throughout the community, polling you on your main concerns and quantifying those concerns too. So without further ado, and with everybody ready to go, I will begin with question 1, which will go to the 5 candidates in succession. Here's the first question. The number 1 priority for West Ward residents is a decreased crime rate. What will you do to reduce crime in the city immediately and in the long term? And Jim Golden, if you would like to begin with that question. Oh,
Thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank the West Ward Alliance, Lighthouse Outreach Ministries, Mercer Street Friends, the League of Women Voters, all of our community partners, and certainly all of you for coming out tonight. This is pretty exciting to see all of you here. Second, on the topic of public safety, my number 1 priority will be to rebrand the capital city into a safe city. How do we do that? I intend to lead us in the reduction of our serious crime index by 40% over the next 4 years. And here's how. First, we're going to develop and implement a comprehensive crime reduction and violence prevention plan with very target-specific benchmarks within the first 60 days of my administration. We will also hire in the first year 50 additional police officers by working with the police union leadership, the state, county, and other local elected officials. We're going to establish neighborhood patrol beats throughout the city, assigning the same officers to the same beats in those neighborhoods. We will develop a well-trained, highly disciplined special operations unit in high crime areas of the city. We're going to reorganize our citizen police advisory councils, strengthen and fully support our ongoing USTAT initiative here in the city. Thank you very much.
okay, that same question to Eric Jackson.
Good evening, and to all the entities that put this fine forum together, thank you. And to all the citizens who came out tonight, thank you. On the issue of crime, it is a top priority and will be in my administration. First, we have to understand that we all acknowledge that we need more police on the street. Whether it's 47 or 57, we know that. But getting those police is really the question that you should ask. One, we have to determine the value to that. I've done that. I began to engage already in conversations with the governor's office and his personnel about getting more money dedicated to our city to get police on our streets, a work in progress. I do believe that a strong, engaged relationship from the mayor's office is essential. With great leadership and high level of accountability are the things that will help move our city forward and reduce crime. Specifically, I'm an advocate of strong, engaged community policing. I believe police officers have to get out of their car. They have to walk in a confined and a determined neighborhood day after day. I've been meeting with seniors over the last 2 months, hearing their concerns. And their primary concern is their fear of being able to go outside after dark. That is a problem in our city. I want to engage a police force that has directed, strategic policies that will go in the worst areas where crime is happening, and we know where it's happening statistically. We will make sure that we use our CompStat, CityStat, UStat to make sure that we bring a reduction to the crime in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. The same question now goes to Oliver Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, the approach to crime in the city that you hear enunciated tonight has been made year in and year out, candidate upon candidate, election upon election. The distinction between the application of the police department and the prosecuting of crime is the effectiveness of the officers themselves. We all know who live in the community, that is the kind of communities that are impacted by crime, that we see police officers walk past crime every day, either to get to their dock-in time or to go to another more priority call. The most important thing to do to eliminate crime is to begin to start having an effect on the basic quality of life that we have in our community. The police officers do not want to deal with the quality of life issues because the quality of life issues do not affect them. You have to understand that when a call comes into the police department and they tell you that someone's on the corner selling drugs, that is a priority to me. It doesn't have to be someone who has a gun in their hand to make it a priority. We need to make police officers do what they're supposed to do, and they like to do the job. But in order for them to do the job, we have to, as a mayor of the city, we have to give them all the support and all the armaments and all the financing that they need in order to do so. I intend to do that. I ran the public housing agency, and we stopped crime there because we stayed on the job 24 hours a day, and we allowed them to do their job. Thank you.
Thank you. Now the same question to Paul Perez.
Good evening to everyone, and thank you so much to the organizers of this organization, this event tonight, and all of you for being here tonight. Crime reduction in a city like Trenton has, for many years, been thought out and planned out by many people. The biggest thing that I would want to remind everybody is that security begins with you. That's the first thing. That's the number one thing. You have to get involved. And then the effectiveness of the police officer clearly follows. But we've been working now for the past 2.5 years without a collective bargaining agreement that allows us to control and professionalize that force in the best interest of our people. In a Perez administration, in the first 90 days, I would make that my priority. I would make sure that I sit down and I talk to that union. And I say to them, before you get anything else, we need to sit down and we need to talk about how it is that we plan together to protect this city that we're responsible for. Everyone moves into a neighborhood wanting to live free, wanting to be able to live in a safe neighborhood, wanting to be able to educate their children, wanting to be able to progress. Utilizing the resources in an effective manner that's going to be responsive to the needs of the neighborhood would definitely be the priority in my administration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The same question now to Walker Worthy.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Thanks to the Westward Alliance, the Hilltonia Association, Grace Church, and Lighthouse Ministries. Thank you, Reverend Griffin, for hosting us. That's a very important question and a top priority in the worthy administration. First of all, we gotta get the police to the hot spots of Trenton. They have to know where the crimes are occurring. We have to train the police officers. We also have to give our children something to do. We gotta get the kids off the street, open up these gyms, open up these community centers, and after-school programs so children can have an alternative to crime. And another deterrent we need are jobs. We have to get jobs in this city so that people won't commit crimes. This unemployment rate is so high. We gotta get it down so our people can stop committing these crimes. No one steals a car on the way to work. We gotta work on getting our people in careers and jobs.
Thank you very much. Okay, the second question that comes from the West Ward polling is as follows. And the first person to answer this will be Eric Jackson. So the second question is, our residents want a clean, safe environment for their children to play. How will you make this a reality for them? Mr. Jackson.
I agree wholeheartedly with the West Ward Alliance, but it's, for me, beyond that, and certainly as Mr. Allen said, it's a priority here, but it's a priority for the Jackson administration as well. A safe city, a clean city, is a city that is most times a successful city when you have vision leading the city. I believe this, that each and every one of us have to take the initiative to help and combat this issue of making sure we have a safe neighborhood. As a mayor and as an advocate for cleaning our streets, to make sure that we are using every resource that the municipality has, from cleaning the streets to abandoned properties, to lighting our streets, to a safe corridor for our children to go to school. That's not enough. Unless each and every one of us are engaged in that process to help do that in our city, in our own neighborhood, around our own house, then we won't be successful. But when we engage in that together, that is when we'll be able to make sure that we have a clean and a safe city. One of the things that I do advocate is forming a business district alliance that we'll meet quarterly on, specifically to make sure that in the corridors where we have business entities, we want to make sure that they're clean, they're inviting, and they're safe. In my administration as well, first 100 days, we'll make sure that we begin a safe schools corridor to ensure that our children have safe gateways from their homes to a school and then back again. These are some of the initiatives that will help us to make sure that our streets and neighborhoods are clean.
Thank you very much. The same question now to Oliver Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I don't know if
Excuse me, I'm going to ask you to sit down.
why.
It's called a level playing field, and if we all get up and start walking around, then it's not level. So I know it's not perfect, but it's what we have. Please.
I want to note, for the purpose of the procedure, that the directions to the candidates before the debate started was we were going to go to the podium.
Yeah, I believe that was a microphone mix-up, and I
That's
promised
fine.
to shout so that you could stay seated, but I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. So now I'm going to rephrase the question, and we will start Mr. Leggett's time after I repeat the question. So our residents want a clean, safe environment for their children to play. How will you make this a reality for them?
Once again, these issues have been raised every election, and every administration has promised to do the same thing: make a safe and clean environment. The one thing you have to do in order to do that is you have to establish a no-blight action plan in order to ensure that all these vacant houses and all these lots that are left are cleaned up. And if you don't do that, you're going to leave all these things that tell people right away that you don't care about their neighborhood. If the city government doesn't care about their neighborhoods, if they allow these houses and these vacant houses to continue to exist, then no one else will care about them. We have to begin to initiate that from our administration. The other thing is we have to make sure, once again, that those people who are charged with the responsibility for safety make the community safe. We keep trying to come up with these programs that allow for everybody else to get involved in policing and not to let police be involved in policing. We want to make sure that cops do their job from the day they start.
Thank you very much. Paul Perez.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Our residents want a clean, safe environment for their children to play. How will you make this a reality for them?
I think in the Perez administration, one of the first things that I would do is I would call up my sanitation department, and I would make sure that they're responsive. That's the first thing. I would make sure that they would get out there and collect the trash on time, every time. We would have to put together a sanitation plan that's responsive to the needs of our people. We would definitely have to go out and look at these playgrounds. Some of them are in better shape than others. Some of them are newer than others. And are they also in accordance with the safety measures that should be placed when building a playground for our children? Our neighborhoods would be cleaner if we all participate and cleaned our neighborhood. Okay, so that's one thing that we need to do. So it's community involvement, but a responsive government service that's already available to us to get out there and do what has to be done. You know, I live in one of the best neighborhoods in the town, Mill Hill. And guess what? They still don't collect the trash on time. So I know they're not doing it in other neighborhoods. So making the government services responsive to the needs of the people would be a priority in making a safe and clean neighborhood for our children to play in a Perez administration.
Thank you very much. And now the question goes to Walker Worthy.
Thank you. In order to have a safe environment for our children, it has to start at home. We have to supervise our children at all times, because the first responsibility is to the parents to keep their children safe and supervise them. But we also have to form public-private relationships to build centers. I don't care if it's the YMCA, the community centers, open up these schools for the children to have something to do. If the children are supervised and they have something to do, then their safety is guaranteed.
Thank you very much. And now answering the question will be Jim Golden.
Thank you very much. A mentor of mine early in my police career reminded me that little things, when left unchallenged, become big things. And this is what we're talking about here. We're going to address this first and foremost by establishing a taxpayer comes first mentality toward world-class customer service in the city of Trenton. That's something that's been missing for far too long. And we do that by engaging citizens. This is a very engaged community here tonight. Unfortunately, we have not seen this level of engagement for quite some time. I go back to the police-community partnership. Community policing, this is really where the rubber meets the road, working in a real partnership with citizens to identify and solve quality of life problems before they become major crime issues and create unsafe streets and communities for our children. We're going to establish a performance management and accountability system across this government where we set benchmarks, goals, and objectives, standards against which we measure our performance and hold ourselves accountable. Very basic stuff, but it hasn't been done. We're going to get it done by working in lockstep with you, our citizen partners. Thank you.